We rolling.
All right. Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Hashem,
Bahashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Shai,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Ruach HaKodesh.
Chakodash.
Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. Hey, we're just a couple brothers from the GMS SF Bay Area camp, come together through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem El Shai to get into a lesson. All right, and Lord's will is edifying. We got a video pinned up, another article, basically showing the climate of what's going on in the world, specifically over here in America. All right, you got this dude, Stephen Miller, and this was, I think, from a week ago? 11 days ago. So this was after you had the CK dude get shot. They came out with this at his funeral, and it's a what do you call it? A speech, going into the type of narrative that these people are thinking, and then you had Trump, which I got an article pinned up. He just directed these generals. He had a main big old conference, if you will, with all his top generals, and basically telling them to get ready for war. The war from within. So we know what this is going after. We know what the ultimate end goal is. All right, we know this is a Nero coming back, and what is he doing? He's getting ready to come down on the believers. All right, and with that, he's coming down on Jake as a whole. But yeah, let's play a little bit of this video. I got it sped up, and this is what does Jake say? This is for fair use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not profiting off any of this monetarily, anyways.
Mm-hmm. When I see Erica and her strength and her courage, I'm reminded of a famous expression. The storm whispers to the warrior that you cannot withstand my strength. And the warrior whispers back, I am the storm. Erica is the storm. We are the storm. And our enemies cannot comprehend our strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion. Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello. Our ancestors built the cities. They produced the art and architecture. They built the industry. Erica stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors, of women who raised up families, raised up city, raised up industry, raised up civilization, who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light. The light will defeat the dark. We will prevail over the...
So you want to say something?
I just said out of the caves.
Out of the caves. Oh, man. Esau, man. Esau. But you can see, this is the rhetoric they're using. All right. Now, supposedly it's aimed at the, so-called far leftist, but who's going to be grouped in all as one. Mm-hmm. All right. We could play a little bit more.
Forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble. And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing. You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity.
That's pretty much it, man.
No. If you Bible can show you, might gotta keep going, bro, because that's where he start going into his lineage.
Yeah. Esau is proud, man. Is a little bit more? Okay, let me play.
Yeah, it's a little more.
You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk. And now millions will carry on his legacy. And we will devote the rest of our lives to finishing the causes for which Charlie gave his last measure of devotion. You cannot defeat us. You cannot slow us. You cannot stop us. You cannot deter us. We will carry Charlie and Erica in our heart every single day and fight that much harder because of what you did to us. You have no idea the dragon you have awakened. You have no idea how determined we will be to save this civilization, to save the West, to save this republic. Because our children are strong, and our grandchildren will be strong, and our children's children's children will be strong. And what will you leave behind? Nothing, nothing. To our enemies, you have nothing to give, you have nothing to offer, you have nothing to share, but bitterness. We have beauty, we have light, we have goodness, we have determination, we have vision, we have strength. We built the world that we inhabit now, generation by generation. And we will defend this world. We will defend goodness. We will defend light. We will defend virtue. You cannot terrify us. You cannot frighten us. You cannot threaten us. Because we are on the side of goodness. We are on the side of God.
I got a quick precept. I thought he was gonna go. I'm not sure if that's the one where he goes into we go back to Athens.
Father, forgive
Greece.
them.
Oh yeah, that's
For
what
they
he
know.
said. He mentioned it earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. He said they go back to Athens, they go back to Philadelphia, they go back basically
Rome.
Esau. Yep, Rome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got this quick precept real quick because he kept saying it. You know, Esau, he's trying to push this. He's trying to stick with the narrative of him. You know, like he put that that name of pretty much being white. You know, trying to make himself seem innocent. You know, like he's fighting for light. You know, he's looked at as this light warrior. You know, Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, read it again, bro. Baba Shaw.
Yep. Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Yep, and that's exactly what Esau does. He flips everything upside down. You know, a 180, if you will. He's adversarial. All right, he's literally the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, which Satan is adversarial to Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, which this dude embodies that, and he calls himself a warrior of light, virtuous, fighting for good. But really, what is he really fighting for? He's fighting for America, which this system is corrupt beyond corrupt. All right, you want to? I don't know what he is. Maybe he's a so-called Christian. What does Christianity believe in? They believe in Satan. You know. And then they, you know, you could hear it, and that's a proud Edomite. You know, you've awoken the dragon. We go back to Athens. They created everything, you know, which no. I mean, yeah, you created wickedness. You know, you pushed wickedness, and that's why everything is at the state it's in right now, because everything's literally being destroyed.
I got a quick precept.
Could Jake finish that one, Saba?
Yep. Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
That's right. You know, light for darkness. Because again, you know, Esau, he's pushing this, you know, again, he's a warrior of light. He's pushing that he's righteous, you know, the cause that they're pushing, which is it's all BS. I mean, off top, the dude looks like it's an actor. You know, he's trying to rise up spirits. He's trying to get into the emotion of people. But this shit's a big ass psyop. You know, we've been going into it these past couple of weeks. But this is what it's doing. It's pushing that narrative, getting these far right, you know, these other people getting ready to for battle, so to speak. You know, they're pushing further into the divide.
Yeah, they talking point is the radical left. You know, and Jake is lumped. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are lumped in with that. You know, so as he's waging war on the left or waging war on the democratic states, that's Esau Edom coming against you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The scripture goes into the accuser of thy brethren. You know, he's going into his lineage and where they come from. That doesn't have nothing to do with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, you come from the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, we don't go back to the Grecians and the Romans and the Athens. You know, you may have, Jake in those areas, but who ruled Rome? Going back to, I believe it was 1 Thessalonians 5. On the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let till he be taken out of the way. That was speaking about Esau Edom during the time of Rome. All right, he was ruling during that time. And only he who now letteth will let till he be taken out of the way. Right now, we're in that time where Esau Edom is about to be taken out of power. And you notice that dude said they're going to do everything in their power, all right, to basically to keep America going, you know?
Yep.
but it's not going to be able to work. The Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai has pronounced against this place, which, Lord's will, we're going to get that in Isaiah 19. But you got it, brother. You can get your precept.
Just added on with the precept you had. This is 2 Corinthians 11:14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So yeah, like pretty much what you were saying, Esau, whose workings is after the spiritual demon Satan, they're trying to present themselves as if, they're the beacon of hope, that everybody should follow them. And the whole time they have a whole different agenda. The whole time they coming after the real children of light, which are the Israelites. And they're trying to coerce everybody into becoming slaves and receiving that digital all, which is the MOTB, the subdermal device, the Neuralink. So, Esau, he's doing all these puffed up, proud speeches, and that's really only to get the foolish, of the people. But nevertheless, people's going to get roused up, and there's going to be, a lot of commotion, chaos, and confusion.
Which, now, if Jake can share this other one that I got or presented, this is the talking point of Trump. Again, he just had this what do you call it? Basically, this powwow, if you will, with all these top generals. I'll just read a little bit of it. This is from 2 days ago. And it says Trump, this is from MSN.com. It says Trump directs generals to defend U.S. from war from within. President Donald Trump told the military's top generals on Tuesday about his controversial plans to send troops to dangerous democratic cities, arguing we're under invasion from within. Trump made clear that the military's job is not only to protect the United States from threats abroad, but also what he repeatedly referred to as a domestic enemy in American cities. It's a war from within, the president said to the room of high-ranking military generals who flew from across the globe to Quantico, Virginia. We're under invasion from within.
Yeah, which if you, concerning Esau, Edom, when you go into his talking point, he's painting the narrative to come against ideologies. Or you have homegrown terrorists, homegrown domestic terrorists. So the goal is to come at, as the scriptures are going into, which Lord's will, we're gonna get into that as well. The two horns like a lamb, but spake as a dragon. All right, as he was saying, he was going into how they pretty much painting themselves as the children of light, which going into that with the elites coin themselves the Illuminati, the illuminated ones. All right, you pretty much the whole plan is to pretty much set up a scene where he can come against you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Exactly. This is all, again, it's psyop upon psyop to really lump a big group together, but the main group is what? The people pushing truth, and ultimately Jake as a whole, because who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? Who are the ones mainly in these big cities? Who are the ones that supposedly are making America bad? Where's the prophets of doom? They all get lumped in, and he can say democratic cities, he can say domestic terrorism, he can lump it all into one.
Cities. I said sanctuary cities.
Yep, sanctuary cities.
Yep, they have all these different terminologies, and that's how Esau works. On his left hand side, he uses he sharpened his tongue as a sword.
Yeah.
So they're not just going to outright, just say, "Oh, we need to come after the Israelites. We need to come after," They're not going to say that. They're going to come sideways. They're going to go diagonal. They're going to come up with all these different terms, and while these different terms are being said, the people, the general public is just eating it up.
Yeah.
And before you know it, now you got troops in all the different states.
Yep.
Right. And the whole time they're trying to get Jake. The whole time.
Yep. I got a quick precept for you, brother, since you were saying that. This is Ecclesiasticus 12:16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit.
Yep.
He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
Read that again, Baba Gashah.
Yep. Ecclesiasticus 12:16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
Yeah, and see, this is how Esau gets down. He's our number one enemy, you know. Mm-hmm. That's why, what does it say in Sirach, the 12th chapter? Never trust thine enemy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So here it is, you know, he'll talk about, oh, we need to unite. Oh, we have a common enemy. Oh, you know, this, that, and the third. But really, he has an ulterior motive. What is that? Psalms 50? Oh, I think I'll grab that. Go ahead.
It says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit.
That's right. How to throw thee into a pit. Yep. You know, and ultimately, again, Esau knows who his enemy is. All right. He knows who has the promises, you know. And that's who? That's Jake. That's mainly Jake. But see, if he can do it sneakily, you know, if he can lump these people into a certain other people, then, you know, and have it all under one banner, then his law is so-called good according to him. You know?
Yeah, because you see, Salakia.
I'll say that problem, reaction, solution.
Yep.
You know, and Esau, they got these different false flags, like the recent one with the nigga with the dreads. He so-called, you know, stabbed a woman up. You know, now all of a sudden Jake is the face of crime. And you notice is Jake with beards and looking austere now. You know?
And that's funny that you said that too, because I forgot the dude's name, but he's like the secretary of the war. That war, I forgot what they call it, the something of war. But he was here addressing these generals too, and he was talking about no more. What did he say? No more beardos or something.
Beardos.
Beardos. Those in the army. You know, and Jake knows. I mean, people know that Jake is the number one group not shaving. You know, because Jake always gets those razor bumps. So they get what's called the I forgot what they call it. Is in the military. But basically, it's a waiver what was that?
Like a 5 o'clock shadow or something or whatever it's called.
Yeah, but it's a waiver, so they don't have to shave, because that's an actual thing in the military that you got to shave. But you can get a waiver because, you know, medical reasons, and that was the Jake who was getting it because of those razor bumps. Jake gets those razor bumps.
Right.
So you know who that's targeting. And then he said, "What if you want to have a beard? You got to join special forces." And you know, Jake ain't gonna do all that. Okay. That's hell. But yeah, you got it, Shemai.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, Esau, his hatred towards Jake, they can't hide it no more. It's like gleaming. It's like every time Esau opened up his mouth, you know, it's always like covert hatred, and pretty soon they just gonna outright just show you Jake's.
Yeah,
you know, that's Jacob's trouble.
Yeah, I got a quick one for Jake. It's Psalms 55:21. It says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart."
Yep, war, the Department of War.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, Department of War.
Yeah, here it is. Esau sitting up there talking about, you know, all this hoopla, you know, talking about, you know, how they're gonna make America great again. You know, what did they say about DC? They said ever since Trump sent the troops out there and all that stuff, they said DC have been the safest place.
Yeah.
You know, so that's Esau speaking with those smooth words. Like, he's trying to tell the people, like, look, trust us. We're gonna send the troops and we're gonna make it safe. Yeah. Really, war is in their heart. Really, they have an agenda.
Yep. It says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Exactly. Because Esau, he'll come with all these different words. Esau, he'll say anything. He'll say anything to try to win you over. You know, look at the history, the track record of Esau in the tribe of Gad. You know, Esau, they signed like over 100 peace treaties and broke them all.
Every single one of them. Every single one of them. It was more than 100 too. They have a whole list. You could Google it. I forgot, there was an actual website that you could look at all the different treaties, and Esau broke every single one of them.
I'm gonna try to find it right now.
But I got another quick one. This is Psalms 94:20. It says, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?" And see, this is what this devil does. You know, he puts all these different wordings, all right, into all these different bills that he passes. You know, but in every little bill, when you put it together, it's all mischief. You know, and it has an ulterior motive. You know, like different what is it? The big beautiful bill. You had certain parts of going into surveillance. You know, you have certain executive orders going into certain type of punishments. But you know, when you put them together, it's all mischief.
And Salaki, I found it. It said it was over 370.
Damn.
Esau broke them all.
Broke them all. See, and this is why, again, you know, Sirach the 12th chapter, to never trust thine enemy. You know, and even though this is the talking point, you know, and you know, Jake, you know, the majority of Jake's going to eat it up. The ones that are those hardcore Christians or whatnot, but ultimately, you know, they're coming with a different agenda. They don't care if you call yourself Christian or not. They don't care if you call yourself on their side. You know, Esau knows there's a difference. You know, there's a difference between him and you.
Yeah.
And the Lord put that separation. The Lord said, you know, he came to send a sword. You know, the Lord is coming to send division. You know, but you got out.
Oh, you was done with that, you top?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, finishing off on.
Hold on, real quick. I'll finish. Read this next verse. It says, "They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood."
Yep, and ultimately that's going into the elect, because pertaining to Revelation 11 and 11, this truth is the only thing that's bringing terror to the elites, the ones that rule the world, that are pulling the strings behind the shadow government, that are pulling the strings behind World War III, that's funding, you know, both sides, that pushing the MOTB. Right? This truth is the only thing that they are afraid of. All right, so they're gonna come down upon the men of the Lord, but the men of the Lord are innocent in the sight of Yahweh Shema Shai.
That's right.
You know, so the scriptures say, you know, who is he that condemneth? So, you know, but nevertheless, the scriptures say they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous. So that's what we're witnessing right now. With Second Ezra, where it says that multitude is kindled, you know, that pretty much, you know, Esau, they're talking about urban warfare, you know, they're talking about, you know, sending so what are they getting ready for? They're getting ready for to eradicate. Like we just identified, you know, they're coming after Jake. All right, but mainly they want to come after the men of the Lord that's been teaching and pushing his word. You know, so pretty much for us that are of the hopeful elect, hey, we're in that time where Esau is going to come down with that wrath, but the Lord is going to lift up a standard. We're also in a time of spiritual power. But you got the
I was going just add pretty much, you know, you see how he's able to just, you know, completely just take people off air, you know, people that, you know, news, you know, people that do the news. He able to just cancel you. He able to get you fired, you know, and all of this is pretty much leading up into trickling down into the men of the Lord, you know, the ones that's actually
you got
it.
No, I was gonna say the shadow ban. You know.
So then if you got these, if you have these figures, you know, pretty much that are more high up, so to speak, in society, if they're not immune to, you know, pretty much the consequences, how much more us, you know? So it's gonna be like he's trying to do a, you know, he's trying to do a full swoop, you know, of what he calls the radical left. But in that full swoop, who is he actually targeting? Which, as we were listening to that guy speak, all right, you can really take it as you know, he's speaking towards the men of the Lord. You know, they said they're gonna do everything in their power. We underestimate their strength. Nah, the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai has allowed us to understand, you know, pretty much your whole get down. All right, and this is a part of prophecy that you are gonna come down with great wrath, that you are gonna speak as a dragon. All right, you're gonna put forth, you know, speaking to those that, you know, pretty much are able to pass these bills and legislations. You're gonna come with that. You're gonna come as a dragon. All right, dracon, going into basically you get a harsh punishment. You know, pretty much for a light, so to speak, a light crime.
Yeah,
you know?
draconian laws.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring it out for Jake real quick since we're quoting it. This is Revelation 13:11. And it says, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Mm-hmm. 2 horns. Oh,
that's speaking of America.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it had 2 horns like a lamb. All right. And you got the Democrats, you got the Republicans, and they spake as a lamb because they're pretty much they're saying these different parties are for the people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time Esau got these parties pinned against each other as a psyop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got that.
And then it says, and spake as a dragon. When you go into that word, it goes into Draco, goes back to draconian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, draconian laws, draconian measures, you know, which are harsh punishments, like the brother Kasaba was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what they push. You know, especially, you know, I read it earlier in Psalms, you know, that mischief by law, that's part of their mischief, is to go into this harsh punishment for breaking their so-called laws, you know, which their laws are changing every day.
Yep. Well, they still have to fulfill that with a Kyle Schwab. He said, you will own nothing and be happy. Well, in order for you to own nothing, they got to take everything away from you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then what they're trying to do is dissolve your amendments,
Mm-hmm.
your rights.
And the Constitution. They saying fuck the Constitution, man. They ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is literally ready to send the troops. As we're seeing, as brothers are saying, you know, he assembled, what was it, all the generals, you know, all these high-ranking military members. For what, man? For the purpose of, you have, like the brother said, you have the enemy from within. Who is that speaking about? Who is a threat?
Well, who what did Trump mention the doomsday prophets?
Yep.
You know, so you already know they keeping tabs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then, you know, on top of that, on top of that, you know, you still got those ICE troops going around.
Mm-hmm.
And who are they targeting? You know,
Jake.
Supposedly it's illegal immigrants, but they're lumping everybody in with that.
Yeah.
Jake's, you know, when I say everybody, I mean Jake, you know.
Yeah.
So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Mm-hmm. Hey, this nigga East. Oh, Salah.
I was just gonna say, because they're not going after these other nations. You know what I mean? You got Moabites in here illegally. You got Ishmael. You got Elam. They ain't going after them. They're going after Jake.
Yeah.
Now, how much more this when there's more of a military presence? You know, and then the enemy, the so-called enemy is you know, exposed. So-called.
They're gonna be you know, mowing Jake down in the streets. You know, those M4s or whatever, you know, station weapon that they, you know, they're gonna be out there, military all the way up. They make movies about it. You know? And that's Esau prophesying on the left-hand side, but these things are about to become a reality. Bushwick. So
well,
you got it.
I was just gonna add Esau Edom. He wants to do a culling. You know, on the Georgia Guidestones, they spoke about, you know, the population that they wanted it to be under a certain amount. So he's finna come with a whole complete culling, so that, hey, when it comes down to this final the hour of temptation, all right, he's gonna you know, pretty much believe that he has this thing clamped down, as the scripture says, as he is about to fill his belly, you know, which is as he's about to try to fulfill his heart's desire, all right, which is pretty much to have everybody electronically tagged, pursuing the Revelation, the 13th chapter.
That's right. I got a quick one. Jake, you got something?
Yeah, I was just gonna finish this off since he read that 2 horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. I was gonna continue this. Ecclesiasticus 12:16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
This is a demon, you know.
Hey, brothers is going the scriptures speak about brothers having to be beheaded, you know. And so when you go into these draconian, you know, these draconian legislations, he's trying to make it to where he don't have to, the elder Yashawamba was just going into it in his video. Pretty much they're gonna send out these robots, you know. You got you know, you're gonna have, well, you already having it, a division even within the generals. Some are saying they're gonna stick to what the president is saying, and you got some that's like, nah, man, this is illegal. You know, this is completely unconstitutional. You know, so you have a divide pretty much even within that.
I don't know if Jake's seen that movie Code 8.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's kind of like how it's sounding, you know.
Yeah.
Because on top of martial law and all that stuff, Esau, he still has to push the fourth industrial revolution. He still has to present to the world like this is the direction that the world is going in. We're going into the direction of the Jetsons age. So they're going, like the brother said, they're going to release those robots, and best believe those robots are going to be trained to kill. You know, just like that movie Code 8. But then the Lord is going to balance that out too, because in that movie you had Jakes that was working in different, you know, blue collar jobs and stuff, and they had spiritual power, you know, and that represents the elect in this time. But yeah, I just had to add that because hey, we coming into these times, man.
Yep. Yeah. You know, we're going into seeing Esau set the narrative, you know, and he's talking about, you know, he has the talking points of the left, domestic terrorism, but again, you know, as scriptures say, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right, we know what the scriptures say. You know, we're bringing it out. You know, this Esau is getting ready to come down. You know, and it's going to turn out. All it takes is one big event. You know, one more big false flag, and all he has to do is martial law. So here it is. He has troops all over the place. Now he can shut shit down with martial law and bring even more troops. You know.
Well, apparently we still in a government shutdown right now.
But yeah, the government shutdown. You know, that's where they can't come to the agreement. So, you know, we'll see how long it lasts. But yeah, you know, they're bugging out.
And then too, it's cold too. You know the scriptures, man. The scriptures don't lie. I believe they were speaking about they pretty much wanted this shit done in like 2030, the 2030 agenda.
Yeah.
But you see, this nigga's having to move. The scriptures saying that the scriptures was spoke about how they're carried headlong, you know, meaning rushed. You know, whether they being plagued with dreams, they're seeing chariots, all the signs. Even Esau Edom is seeing that his kingdom is in threat of being overtaken. His kingdom is in threat of being pretty much as the prophets are speaking. Hey, at the end of that video, he was saying, you're pretty much y'all ain't nothing but bitter, you know, which America means bitter.
Yeah.
You know, you motherfuckers is bitter. It's crazy how Esau Edom can come from literally his standpoints and his talking points. This nigga's the biggest hypocrite. Everything he's saying is literally him, you know, as far as the wickedness and the darkness.
Projection.
Projection. But the accuser of the brethren, because it keeps continuously going into they keep going into this radical left, which it has to be stressed that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are lumped in that category. This is what the scriptures are speaking about.
Because when you think about the left, you think about what? The LGBT. Who did the LGBT try to lump in there? You know, the black and the brown.
The blacks.
Yep. Black Lives Matter. So, you know, the left, like the brother's saying, is really aiming towards Jake, man.
And it's cold too, because Salakia, if I could just make this one point, it's cold too because even within that, because he uses words like the brother was saying, pretty much their mouth is like a sword. He's saying the left and spiritually the left can be associated with wickedness, all right, and darkness, which this nigga's literally he's completely left-handed.
Well, you know? We brought it out earlier. He calls the light darkness.
Yep.
So hey, we know exactly who he's targeting.
Yeah, he calls himself the white man, and he calls Jake the black man.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of the Southern tribe, but that's psychological, like the brother was going into. You know, using his words to have like that psychological effect on the masses.
Yep. I got this one real quick. This is Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time."
Yep. So that wrath, we're pretty much seeing the beginning of that wrath. You know, Esau, they just have to put all the puzzles in the right place. Once the troops get to where they need to go, because Trump, he planned on putting troops in pretty much every single state. They're gonna do when they get there. then they gonna set up shop.
Yeah.
Then prophecy is gonna begin to be fulfilled because Esau they're gonna do some more false flags while the troops are there. So now that's gonna give them leeway to start gunning Jake down in the street.
Yep.
Setting up blockades.
Yep.
And then Esau they're gonna start releasing these. They're gonna be like controlled plagues.
Yep.
So we're in that time, man.
Yep.
The great wrath.
I believe that term is called polycrisis.
Polycrisis, and that's funny because Esau keeps it's like his left hand prophesying because he keeps mentioning he's been talking about this for years, these polycrisis, Oh, and then one of the things with the polycrisis is we don't talk about it a lot. Well, some brothers go into it, but it's kind of been in the back burner. But is these what do they call it? Basically cyber blackouts, so that can shut things down in a famine of the word, but people start bugging out because if you shut down the electrical grid, what happens? Well, everything is, they showed you that in that movie. What was it? American Blackout?
Blackout, yep.
Yeah, people were bugging out and it only took like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
You don't have access to your money. You don't have access to anything, And
a lot of
electricity.
Yep. A lot of food gets spoiled.
Yep. People start bugging out. So, and then look, here's the troops. They're already here. Hey, just get ready. This is happening. All right.
Motherfuckers that's on life support, or hooked up to machines that need electricity, pretty much for them to to keep going. Motherfuckers finna drop dead just off, hey man, this is what the scriptures coined at a time like never before.
Yep.
Which going back to it, this is his culling process. He's deliberately doing this. What did the Georgia Guidestones say? Population under 500 million. That's a very, compared to what it is now, that's a very small number. So he got to do all kind of shit. Even going into the polycrisis, you got the pestilences. This nigga's in the lab right now creating shit.
Well, that's what that movie Resident Evil was about. That zombie virus is show you that it started in the lab, and then somebody broke the vial, and then that's how the cities was ran down with zombies. That's really what Esau doing behind the scenes with these plagues.
Yeah. It shows you that in Utopia too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bro, so it's plain to see. If you want to know if Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua have opened your eyes, pretty much for you to see what's going on, man, it's plain. We're seeing these things come to pass. As the scriptures say, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak and not lie.
Yes.
Did you still had that, your top? What you was holding?
No, that was it on that.
You got it, brother.
Just to add on to that, Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them.
Yeah, it's the enemy coming in like a flood. That's these troops, But see, the elect, what does it say? The elect will have that standard being lifted up for them. And when you go into that word, what does it say, Shemaiah?
Let me go into it real quick. The word for standard is nuos, which means to flee, escape, to flee, escape, to take flight.
To take flight, So to flee, to escape. So whatever the Lord has to do to get you out of that situation, but also to spiritual power.
It says depart, disappear. So it literally says disappear.
Yeah.
And then it says to fly to the attack.
Damn, see? So to be able to flee, to be able to get out of that situation, to be able to fly, to be able to disappear, and then to be able to put to attack, to put you on. So imagine a flood coming up. Here it is, a whole troop of men, Esau's troops, but the Lord gives you that spiritual power to go on the attack mode. Man.
That is what's coming. And it reminded me of an account where Elisha and he had an underling, and pretty much they were surrounded by troops.
Oh yeah.
And then Elisha, he prayed to the Most High that the underling, that his eyes will be open, because he was like, what are we going to do? And then, that's what the scripture said, there more be with us than with them. And there was a fleet of chariots. And then what happened after that? Elisha prayed that he smit the troops with blindness, and they was blind. So that was spiritual power right there.
Yep.
And they was able to escape. So
Oh, Salakia, you got it, brother. Salakia.
Yeah, I was the same, you got it.
Just to add on, that guy, he was going into pretty much just boasting. As you was hearing the speaking point, he was pretty much boasting in the power, and saying we can't imagine the strength that he has. And then pretty much I looked up the lady pretty much who's the wife of Charlie Kirk. Her name was Erica, and when you go into that name Erica, it translates to either eternal ruler or ever powerful, or powerful, and they're using this whole situation that happened, man, pretty much to as he said, you've awoken a dragon.
Yep.
You've awoken a dragon. What is he talking about? And as we're going into
his sword, he was blessed with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he gets his power. It says, by the sword thou shalt live. So Esau, when he said you waking the dragon, pretty much he's getting ready to be physical, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, he is that dragon,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
A red dragon.
That's right. I got, for time's sake, I got this one more. Was you done with that, Shemai?
Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay, this Psalms 10:1. Why standest thou afar off, O Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked, which, if I could add, the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is subject to his word, so all things must be fulfilled. As the scripture, I quoted it earlier, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So the Lord has to allow, pretty much Esau to fulfill everything that's the Lord pretty much from the foundations that are even before that. He has to fulfill all of the things that the Lord wanted him to fulfill before Yahweh Shai is sent. It says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined."
Whew, Yapa. He said the wicked in his pride.
Yep.
And that's what we're seeing. The brothers played the videos of the Edomites speaking. They were super prideful.
Yep.
And they're persecuting the poor, man. Here it is. We're the people that's been downtrodden, catching the most hell, and Esau's going hard body. You got it.
Yep. It says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Hey, they want to. You got it.
No, I was just saying, because they think they're going to overthrow Jake. They think they're going to be able to get rid of him. The higher ups think they're going to be able to do what they want and put Jake into slavery, and if not, eradicate all of them. But ultimately, that's coming to them. Slavery and then ultimate eradication.
And even before the slavery, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to completely do away with this whole land of America, man.
Yep, that's right.
Through thermonuclear destruction.
Yep.
What you say, Yatab? I think I spoke over.
I said their whole system.
Yep.
The one they're boasting in, the one that they're trying to save.
Yep.
The one that they're about to fight tooth and nail for, which is a wicked system, by the way. It's all going to be done away with.
That's right.
That's
and
right.
what do they got that saying? Novos
Seclorum.
Novos Ordos Seclorum. New World Order.
Our enterprise is crowned with success.
Yeah, our enterprise is crowned with success, which as him boasting. Like the brother Yatai was just saying, this system that they're bragging about and boasting about is going to be through.
Yeah. Well, I just quoted earlier how the scriptures say when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall basically rain down upon him, with those thermonuclear missiles.
Yep.
Psalm 10:3. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. And it says, and blesseth the covetous whom the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all of his thoughts.
Yeah.
The nigga literally in the video we was just watching, he said he if I'm not mistaken, he proclaimed himself to be, you know, a follower of God, you know, which really what God are they talking about?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, because they're not. It says they're. What does it say? Read that last verse again.
The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all of his thoughts.
Yeah, they're not really thinking about the true Most High, which is Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Because if they did, they would know that this place is through. You know, there is no saving this place. You know, they would have known what happened to Charlie if it really did happen, and that was judgment. You know, but ultimately you have a whole bunch of psyops going on by the elites. So you know, it's all hypocrisy. You know, it's garbage.
And it's being shown too.
Yep.
You know,
bad actors.
It's sloppy, man. Well, when you rushing something, you know, you don't got all of it. You missing shit.
Yeah.
You know,
you overlooking stuff now that you rushing.
Verse 3, it says, verse 4, Salakia, verse 5. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them.
Yeah, that's that pride. That's that pride, you know.
Yep.
You awoken the dragon.
Yeah. You can't begin to imagine the type of strength that we have.
Yeah.
You know, as if the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the vehicles alone are defying physics. You know, here they got the term Newton's law, or not Newton's law. I don't know if it's called that. What's the nigga man? He was talking about like the law, like gravity and shit. I forgot who they coined. Is it Isaac Newton? I think it was Isaac Newton.
I think it is Isaac Newton.
You know,
physics.
Yeah, but it all goes into physics. Yeah.
Well, the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is not subject to your physics. You know, he's not subject to your fucking your elemental table chart. You know, elements can be manipulated in, I dare to even say 1 second. You know, it can just be manipulated just in an instant. You know, and this is just all going you know, pretty much speaking against what Esau Edom is saying. You know, as far as him, it says, as for his enemies, he puffeth at them. You know, showboating. You know,
he's just a man.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and the brother was, you know, saying, you know, the Lord, his chariots is literally showing out in front of you. There was a video that a brother posted, and it was like a government. You know, they had like the chief people in the military, and pretty much they was talking about the chariots. And they was asking, like, were you guys afraid when you seen the chariots? They was like, yes. And the other person was like, yes. So, you know, the Lord is showing out, but yet Esau's pride is deceiving him.
There you go. That was a beautiful point, bro. A beautiful point. Verse 6, it says, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity.
Damn.
His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. And I just, you know, for time's sake, we just ended out right there.
Yeah, I'll get this last one. Jake don't have anything else. Straight to the point. This is Isaiah 19:4. Since we read over what Trump was talking about, it says, "And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them," saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai of hosts.
And we're seeing, you know, more and more that cruel Lord is being applied to, you know, DJ Trump, Nero.
Yep.
No, he's the only one that's he's the only president that's ever, you know, took the office like this. You know, literally doing whatever he wants to do, saying whatever he wants to say.
Yep. Yeah, the modern day Egypt is America. I believe it says that in Revelation 11 chapter. You know, spiritual Egypt, and these Egyptians would be the Americans.
Yep.
You know, so and Jake is in this. You know, Jake is in this Egypt. You know, this modern day Egypt. So yeah, again, Trump has to be that cool Lord. You know, if he starts to really get it popping, you know, he passes more of these laws, he comes down. It's seeming like he has to be that cool Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, because troops are en route all across the states right now.
Yeah,
Brothers have been posting up videos of more and more tanks and stuff on trains.
yep, I seen that.
Yep, and it's just more and more. Pretty much the Esau's putting the pieces in place.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and see, that was a statement that he just had on Tuesday with getting all those top generals and saying there's a war from within. You don't just get a whole bunch of generals together and say there's a war from within and get ready, and then not do anything about it. You
Right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and mind you, Trump hasn't even been in for a year. It's not even been a year yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and he has about three and some change left. So, you know, we're gonna see a lot. You know, like brothers always go into a 2026 is a. If we get there, it's going to be a hell of a year, especially for prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot going on.
Yep.
A lot of, fourth industrial revolution being pushed, robots in people's homes, AI, surveillance.
Exactly. Yep. More psyops, more taking of the people's rights, so-called rights, Hey, it's like brother's saying, they're trying to push their NWO. And with that, you have a lot of people that are going to fight against it, which that goes into prophecy as well. But nonetheless, we read it in Revelation 12 chapter, they're going to just come down with great wrath. They don't got time to be messing around with all these people.
You put it perfectly. They ain't got time to be messing around. They just gonna come down with that wrath.
Yeah. What the scripture say? They should be like madmen sparing none.
Yep.
He's going. I believe when you go into that word great wrath, it goes into like a drunken rage.
Yep.
That's gonna be Esau Edom. He's not trying to reason with you. But yeah, that's all I had to say.
That's it. And this is where everything's heading. But Jake don't got any other scriptures.
No.
With that, Lord's will was edifying. Once again, we want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect and above all.
Shalom to the elect, Baba Ball. Shalom.